So now we want to work on rationalizing the denominator. So again, what we said in the notes, we have to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. Remember, the conjugate is differing by the sign of the second term. So since this is 3 minus the square root of 5, we're going to multiply by the square root of 3 plus the square root of 5. But again, whatever we do to the denominator, we have to do the same to the numerator. So starting with the numerator, basically it's going to be like a distributive property. 2 square root of 7 times the square root of 3, multiplying the radicals together, gives us 2 square root of 21. And our second gives us 2 square root of 35. Again, for the denominator, we're going to do FOIL. So multiplying the first together, square root of 3 times the square root of 3 gives us the square root of 9. 3 times 5 gives us the square root of 15 for the outer. The inner gives us negative. 5 times 3 is 15. And the last gives us 5 times 5 for 25. So again, the numerator is going to stay exactly as it is because we can't combine them because the radicals aren't like, because the radicands aren't the same. Square root of 15 minus the square root of 15 crosses out. Square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 25 is 5. So it's 2 square root of 21 plus 2 square root of 35 all over negative 2. And then, let me bring this up here. Basically, we can break them up into two separate terms. And taking 2 divided by negative 2, we get negative square root of 21. Get my arrow out of the way. Negative square root of 21 minus the square root of 35. Because the 2's basically cancel out on each one, and thus we're done. Write that a little cleaner for everybody. Take a look at our second example. Again, we're going to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator, which in this case would be 6 minus the square root of 3, differing only by the sign of the second term. Do it to the denominator means you do the same thing to the numerator. So the numerator we're going to distribute. 11 times 6 gives us 66, and 11 times the square root of 3 gives us 11 square root of 3. The denominator will FOIL. 6 times 6 is 36. The outer becomes negative 6 square root of 3. The inner becomes positive 6 square root of 3. And the last becomes the square root of 9. So again, the numerator stays the same. This minus 6 square root of 3 and plus 6 square root of 3 cancel out. Square root of 9 becomes 3. 36 minus 3 becomes 33. Now, we need to simplify here, and notice that there's a common factor that goes into 66, 11, and 33, and that's 11. So I'm going to pull the 11 out, give myself 6 minus the square root of 3 on top over 33, and then the 11 goes into 33 3 times, so thus your final answer becomes 6 minus the square root of 3 over 3. And you're done.